do you have rules in place to help manage things, thoughts, energy in order to engage in the best possible behaviours and solutions throughout the day, so that you don't get distracted in activities or do them in a certain sequence because you will end up running out of time or missing something or not being able to do something else because certain activities work best in certain sequences. For instance, exercise works best before eating or before you're too hungry. Now, if you do, that's good habit. However, there are moments where even though we're working on those and we, at the beginning or even mid-through or at some point, we come off those habits and then go into the previous habits, old habits, and we find ourselves getting over-focused on something else. And one part of us is saying, you shouldn't be doing this, and it looks like the brain has a mind of its own. And we feel this tension in us. I shouldn't be doing this. And we carry on doing it. I should stop doing this, and we still carry on. Or we have a rule, we're not going to do this, and then we actually do it. I'm not going to check my phone, and I actually do check the phone. Okay, and then we feel, I don't have any control. Okay, so when that happens, sometimes we give ourselves permission to continue to ease off the attention. So we might also, if we manage to stop within a reasonable time, we might justify that, okay, it was not the length of time I was planning, but it's still reasonable. However, if you go over the time that we consider reasonable, then we start going down the road of, there's a possibility it'll go down the road of, why did I do this? Why did I do that? Okay, and start feeling a little regret because we start realizing that because of our actions we end up missing something else which was equally important, if not important, more important. So let's ease off from that judgment, self-judgment, and from beating ourselves up. Because we'll go, why did I do this? Why didn't I have control? Why didn't I control myself? Why did I? So you might go and check on something only to realize that there's more to do and react and respond and more things to consider than you have the capacity and the time in this moment. And if you should have stuck with the rule, do not look at it before this time, do not look at it until I'm ready, I wouldn't have opened a can of worms. Or if I stopped that before when I said I should stop this, but I still continued, then I would have been able to do the other things which was important, more important in the sequence. So let's have a little moment to ease off that tension. So the brain is going, I'm doing this, and it has some gains and benefits. It has, otherwise you would stop. Okay, so why, Delilah? Why were you carrying this on? Sometimes we are carrying on because we see as an opportunity to do something that is important, has a benefit. It could be an immediate benefit or mid or long-term benefit. And our brain is obsessively focusing on that benefit and totally forgetting about the consequences for this moment, mid or long term. Or maybe there's a little consequence but is minimizing, is overly focused just on the feeling good, on the satisfaction, on the benefit of this specific activity that we're engaging now. And sometimes we get so obsessed too, wanting to finish. I just want this finished and out the way, and until it's finished and I can go from a second to a minute to an hour, it's not finished. So we get obsessively focused and we get only feels really satisfied when we stop, when we actually say, I have a resolution. Okay, so, okay, let's check in. Why, Lila? Why? Perhaps we're seeing this as the most important activity, but we're not checking in. We're not checking in. Why do I want to do this? What is the benefits for doing this? Is this a habit? Is this a momentum? Do I have momentum going? Is this a habit? Is this car going so fast that I'm finding difficult to slow down and stop? Am I actually getting satisfaction out of this? Is this perhaps allowing my brain to switch off? And whatever I need to do next is a little harder or not as satisfying? Or am I anticipating a reward? Perhaps I'm checking something because I'm hoping that there is a little satisfaction in terms of reward. So why, Delilah? I just couldn't take anymore. So let's stop everything just for a moment. We might go back to our activity if we choose to, but let's take a moment. Why am I engaging in this activity? Why now? Why do I need to do it now? Pause the video whenever there's a question if you need more time. So often there is a benefit and we're seeing as the best time. And also it could either be for our benefit now or for our benefit mid or long term. Perhaps we are finding a way, finding a solution to provide to a problem that we are anticipating in the future. Okay. Perhaps we are trying to prevent or trying to have a safety net or trying to have a parachute for when we are struggling. So we are engaging in that. For instance, you might engage in activity with the knowing that you'll feel better in the now, but it can also be that you'll feel better afterwards at some point in the future, the near or long-term future. So, and let's acknowledge, okay, I get it, this is important, and I can see the benefits, and those are valid. However, what is that I need in order to manage myself, my day, and in order not to feel regret over the things that I've lost as a consequence, or problems I've created as a consequence? What is it best that I do now? Is it best that I continue with this? Or is it best that I put a pause and then return to it at another time? Is another question. What do I need right now? What do I need physically right now? What do I need mentally right now? What do I need emotionally right now? It's important to check in pause, check in, and decide, okay, it is important. Should I continue or should I do something else? What's best for me, for now, for later, for the whole of the day, mid and long term, so that we can have the best possible solution. And then remember, why do we have the rules in place? Why do we have the rules in place? Why do I have this rule in place? Sometimes could be not to get distracted unnecessarily, not to overreact, not to start creating problems unnecessarily or making them bigger unnecessarily, not to miss something that it is important. So let's remind ourselves why we've created a rule in the first instance, and then is this rule still a good rule to keep? And if it is, then let's keep it. If it's not, do I need to revise and adjust or be flexible with this rule? Or perhaps just on this instance, just be flexible with it. Am I adapting to new circumstances, or do I need to adapt to new circumstances? So close your eyes for a moment. Notice the breath. Let's see if we can exhale by closing one nostril and exhaling through the other. And we're going to exhale fully by closing the opposite nostril and then exhaling fully. Taking the head to the side and to the other side. Take the head to the side, breathe in. Take the head to the other side, breathe out. Breathe in. Take the head to the other side, breathe out. So, take a full breath into the belly. And an exhalation slowly in out. Shall I continue, or shall I do a different activity and continue with this activity another time? Big hug, may you find the right solution. Be flexible and adaptable, and things eventually work out. It's just sometimes we might want to not waste as much time or having the feeling of regret at the end and having to try to catch up. I think not, don't beat yourself up, because that's the worst. That's the worst. Just okay, what can I do now to improve the next moment, and take it from now. Forget about what I learned from what happened before. So what lessons can I take? We can learn the lessons, okay. I'm more vulnerable to lose self-control when I'm more tired, when I'm feeling more emotionally dysregulated, for instance, and then still keeping those rules in place to protect us, to avoid us creating more problems unnecessarily. And let's have compassion. Breathe in and breathe out. And if the brain sees as something important right now, then let's have compassion, and then let's remind our brain, yes, that is important. Also, is the other thing as important? Okay, so let's just take it easy and choose the best possible sequence so you can have more rewards. Bye for now.